It's getting late in 2025. Rent thinks it's a luxury vacation. Most people's bank accounts are on life support. Your paycheck is auditioning for a movie called Where Am I? And the go-to financial plan for most people is hope for the best. Americans aren't doing so well financially, that's no secret. But it's not just the economy. Sometimes we sabotage ourselves too. What's up guys, it's Jake from Money Talks, and in today's video, I'm breaking down the 5 worst money mistakes people are making this year. And if you're guilty of any of these, don't worry, there's still time to turn things around. Now these are just some money mistakes I've seen, but if you made any other money mistakes, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to know what you've done to improve your money situation. Now money mistake number 1 I've seen, living without a budget. Failing to plan is planning to fail. My first boss ever used to hit me with the 5 P's. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. I always love this sentiment because it's so true. If you look at successful people, it's very uncommon for them to have gotten successful on accident. You can almost always attribute a positive outcome to a system that was created based on proven steps. What I mean by that is it's proven that if you spend less than you make and invest the difference, you'll build more wealth than the majority of people. The best way to do this is to know exactly how much is coming in, how much is going out, and what percentage is going where. In other words, you have a system to follow, a plan, and in particular with your money, a budget. Money mistake number 2, ignoring high interest debt. One of the most financially crippling things people do to themselves these days is finance their lives. You can pretty much take a loan out for anything, but you're gonna pay a lot more than it's worth to get that money now. Unfortunately, short-sightedness leads to loans with high interest rates that basically stop you from ever getting ahead financially. Average car loan rates are sitting around 7 to 12%, personal loans around 10 to 12%, and credit cards around 15 to 20%. This is just some of the most common debt Americans take out, and the constant debt payments virtually guarantees that you'll never achieve financial success. So don't let debt run your life. If you have high interest debt, pay it off and stop financing things. By the way guys, I coach people on personal finance and getting their money situation together. So if you need help steering clear of these kinds of financial mistakes, DM me on any of the socials at Money Talks Jake for help organizing your finances and taking control of your money. Money mistake number 3, not prioritizing emergency savings. Emergency expenses are going to happen. It's not if, it's when. We all kind of know this to be true. However, a lot of times building up savings isn't prioritized like it should be. According to Empower, 1 in 5 Americans have no savings at all. 2 in 5 can't afford a $400 emergency. And the median emergency savings is around $600. In my opinion, an emergency savings is non-negotiable. It's extremely difficult to justify doing anything with your money before you have an emergency savings account with at least 3 months of expenses saved up. Money mistake number 4, not investing due to fear of the market. In my own anecdotal experience, this is extremely common. I have friends, family, and people who I've worked with on their finances that all tell me, Jake, I'm scared of investing in the stock market. What if I lose everything? And here's the thing, I totally get it. You don't want to lose everything you work for. That's actually not a bad thing that you have some form of a risk meter in your head. However, the fear typically comes from ignorance of the market. What you have to understand is when we're talking about long-term investments in the stock market, we're talking about securities that have yielded returns for decades and decades. Investing in low-risk mutual funds or ETFs is not the same as gambling at a Vegas casino hoping to hit it big. And that leads me to money mistake number 5, only investing in speculative investments. So quick distinction here. A low risk investment is something that stood the test of time. It may not yield a crazy return, but you're almost guaranteed to make money long term. An example of this is something like an ETF that tracks the S&P 500 index. For example, VOO, that's a super popular one. A speculative investment, however, is something that's very volatile. It can give you a greater return, especially short term, but there's also a much higher chance that you lose everything. Some examples of this would be purchasing something like single stocks or cryptocurrency. Too many people put all their money into high-risk investments, lose everything, and then think that's what investing is all about. Wrong. Investing should be about taking calculated risks. And like Warren Buffett would say, risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. And you can watch this video right here to learn the 3 levels of investing and why they're important. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. I'm out.